with the defensive coordinator from the University of Toronto, Coach Bob Mullen. Coach Mullen joined the varsity Blues coaching staff in 2017 when he moved on from a 4-year stint at the St. FX X-Men as the defensive coordinator, where he helped guide them to consecutive AUS championship titles. He is also a Vanier Cup winner as both a player and a coach at Queen's University, where he served as the defensive coordinator from 1988 to 2000, where he helped the team secure 4 Yates Cup titles to go along with the only shutout in Vanier Cup history in 1992.
Aaron, I'll be right with you.
Okay, perfect. Coach, sounds good. While we're waiting for Coach Mullen to get ready to start, I do want to just give a couple of quick updates for anybody who wasn't with us the past couple of days. We had a conversation on Friday about return to football and where the Ontario government is at currently. If you want to take a look on our website for our latest release on the return to play and where the Ontario government sits and kind of what information we currently have and what we're waiting for, please take a look on that. I had mentioned in our Friday call, we are working with all the outdoor sports right now as an outdoor sport coalition to be able to both lobby the government as well as ensure that we can get back to football safely and adequately, similar to how BC, Saskatchewan, and Quebec are doing right now. So if you want to take a look at that information that is on our site, I also do want to take the time to quickly thank everybody again, the OUA and Riddell for the support that they've put in. I want to thank Ryan Kublik for all the hard work that he's put in developing a lot of our branding. And so we have 3 interns right now on the back end that, are doing a lot of great work. Sarah, Tyler, and Daniel have been working tirelessly to be able to get this off the ground, and their efforts are incredibly appreciated. So Coach Mullen, I think you jumped back in.
Yes, I'm back in, Aaron.
Okay, perfect. I'll let you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Aaron, thank you very much. If I could share my screen. We good there, Aaron?
Yeah.
So good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to begin by thanking Aaron, Tyler, and the team that put this together. I've really enjoyed the weekend to this point. The presentations made by colleagues from across the OUA have been informative and interesting and extremely well done. I appreciate everybody that is here, especially on a nice Sunday afternoon. I hope, want to commend you, all those in attendance, for your commitment to our game. And just before I begin, I also wanted to just sort of express my thoughts on COVID. COVID has taken so much away from us in the past 14 months. But as I look for a silver lining in this dark cloud, I've been really, really excited over this COVID period with the manner in which our Canadian football community has engaged the opportunity to come together in a virtual way, sharing and collaborating and talking about the game in a manner that I really haven't seen it before. And I hope that as we see COVID fade into the rear view mirror, I hope we continue this conversation and again, continue to protect, promote, and develop our great game. My contact information is there. I'm happy to share. And in terms of our topic today. I thought I'd just talk a little bit about some defensive back fundamentals, then some man coverage principles, and then talk a little bit about our catch man technique. So just to touch on general things that I think are important in terms of coaching philosophy. Brad, it was good to see Brad Miller again and to hear his thoughts on that. I think for me, I'm a believer in coaching up, not down. As Brad said, everybody wants to do it right. Everybody wants to be successful. Not everyone comes to us ready to be a first round draft pick. And I feel that, if a football player is better for the time he spent with us as coaches, we've done our job. I believe that a coach is first a teacher, but also a student. I've been around the game a long time. When I played, it wasn't just the balls that were leather, but the beauty of this game is that I've never stopped learning. I believe it's important to keep that in mind, and that's what keeps us young and engaged, and as learners as well as teachers. I believe in setting high expectations for our players, and I also believe, as a coach, we need to provide a plan, direction, and support opportunities to achieve those high expectations. And at the end of the day, it's a game, and it needs to be fun. So have fun, make it fun. And I know for me, a day in the office, drilling down on videotape, it's always been the greatest gift of the day has been the couple hours on the field with the kids. So, just in terms of taking a look at the makings of a great DB, I don't think I'm going to surprise anybody, with, first starting off with what's in the boots. We're looking for speed. The game of football is a game of speed. DBs, we're looking for quickness and agility. We're looking for feet that are clean, and able to, get ourselves to where we need to be. Hips that are flexible and can open quickly in response to stimulus. And more, size is becoming important as our offensive coordinator friends are robbing volleyball teams and basketball teams of players to play receiver. Size and strength, of course, for the physical part of the game, is also important. If you put all that together, you've got an athlete who's in a position to be able to run, change direction, and hit. But I think there's one more element that is critical, and not just for DBs. Brad was speaking of it for defensive linemen, but eyes. Eyes are perhaps one of the most important physical traits or characteristics of a great DB, training their eyes. I think as well that what's between the ear holes is also, is the mark of a great DB. We're looking for a student of the game, someone with high football IQ, and as coaches, they're not going to necessarily come to us with that. So as teachers, we need to develop their football IQ. Obviously, or not obviously, we're playing a team sport. Everybody has a job, a role within the scheme. A great DB is someone who knows his job, who does his job, and trusts others to do the same. A great DB is someone who's going to constantly work to master his craft. Don't waste a rep in practice. Every rep is an opportunity to improve, and improving means to be open to coaching, and to study the game. And preparedness. Okay, preparedness leading up to kickoff is going to put you in a position to better anticipate. If we can anticipate, we can recognize, and if we recognize, we can respond. And then what's inside, you know, the intangibles, the heart of a champion. We need, you know, young men who play with confidence, courage, and toughness. There are times we're playing a team sport, but there's lots of opportunity for DBs to be alone on the field, and that there's going to be situations that require them to have the courage to be great in the moment, a competitive drive to be the best, and relentless effort. Never quit. Never. Not on, you know, there's, you know, no, you know, nothing sort of exemplifies that more than the player who has chased down a long run, made the tackle at the 3-yard line, and gave the defense an opportunity to keep the opponent out of the end zone. A thick skin and short memory. You know, sometimes the offensive personnel win the down. You need to have you know, the ability to deal with the play that didn't go well, park it, get on to the next play, a next play mentality. And if you put all of that together, I think at the end of the day, you have in the back end, you have a playmaker. Guy's going to change the course of the game. Now, you know, our game is one of set piece plays. We're going to have an opportunity to win somewhere between 50 and 70 downs. So how do we go about winning the down? Number one, it starts with getting the call. We're not in, you know, the offense is in control of the tempo of the game. I haven't huddled on defense for really for as long as I've coordinated. We've taken signals from the sidelines. So we need to get the call. And then I like to talk about the 5 W's, and there's 1 H of the down. So the first question is who? And the answer is, who are we defending? What personnel group is on the field? Is it 2 backs? Is it 15, 1 back, 5R? Is it a heavy 33 group, 3 backs, 3 receivers? You know, the what? The what is down in distance. Okay, be aware of situational, the game situation. Where refers to field position. Where are we on the field? You know, we've got a lot of real estate to cover, but there's a difference between an offense that is backed up inside its own 20-yard line and an offense that is entering the high red zone. We need to understand that field position helps to inform us of what might happen. The win, clock and score. So, you know, be aware the time of game, the score of the game, of course, is going to again help to inform us as to what we can, you know, work to expect, narrow things down. And the answer, you know, as to why does all of this matter? I say to our guys that, you know, this situational awareness is going to give us an opportunity to avoid surprise parties. You know, I'd say I don't like walking into a dark room and flicking the light on, not having a clue what we're going to see. So putting those 5 W's together, you know, we're looking to shed some light on what we can expect to see, what we can expect to happen in the next 5 to 6 seconds. And finally, the how is really where I'm going next. How do we win the down? So, you know, we teach a progression of action, and our finish, that what we're looking to finish this drive with is a takeaway, defensive takeaways, whether it be fumble recoveries, whether it be interceptions, whether it be pass breakups, take away the ball. Okay, if we can't do that, we want to get the ball on the ground. So tackling, team tackling is critically important. And in order to make tackles, we're going to have to get off block. So, the finish of this is the takeaway, the tackle, and block destruction that works to get us in position to make that tackle. And we're going to back it up and start with alignment. Everything begins with alignment. If you're not properly aligned, it's hard to be successful in anything else. Assignment, know what your responsibility is. Keys and eye progression, eye discipline for a defensive back is critically important. Where what you need to see and when you need to see it. Narrow focus, tight focus is really, really important. And the ability to train one's eyes in the back end is going to be the difference between being where you need to be and being close. And then technique, of course, we're on the field to teach, to learn, to master the crafts. And then the finish being the takeaway, the tackle, and block destruction. So just again, sort of turning the focus a little bit to man coverage principles. I think, a general principle of defense, and certainly specifically to man coverage, is we want to defend the field from the inside out. In man coverage, a coverage scheme is going to determine the technique we play. Okay, cover 0, that is +1 pressure, no help anywhere. Cover 1 with man free, whether it's 1 free or a rat in the hole. Cover 2 man is going, those kinds of man coverage schemes are going to dictate the coverage technique, the man coverage technique that we play, whether it be off man, catch, or press. This is probably the most important part of it, I think, and that is to know where your help is and where your help isn't. And you have help, cover 0, you have help. The help is the pressure that you're going to bring. You've got no one free, but you need to understand that your help is the pressure that is going to speak to the technique you play. If we're talking about cover 1, we're going to have post and hole help, possibly post hole or post help only, but know where that help is. Deep and inside, inside deep and low, or inside deep only. And if we're playing 2-man, we've got help in the deep half. So access to the help is going to be determined for you as a defender by the receiver's alignment, pre-snap, and then also through the down. So as we go to the video, I hope I can show you a little bit of, we always want to leverage our help, okay? And that help, again, access to help can change through the down, depending on the receiver's stem, his initial alignment, his pre-snap motion, and then our leverage. Our leverage is going to reflect the help we have or the help we don't have. And access to help will determine leverage. And we want to have, even though it's man coverage, we need to be flexible in our focus and our eye discipline. We cannot zero in solely, in getting a man coverage call, we can't lock our eyes on our coverage responsibility solely. There's a lot going on in the game prior to the snap of the ball that we need to be informed of. If we're in man coverage, I need to see through outside man coverage. With outside leverage, I'm seeing through to the backfield. I want to know backfield set. Am I on the potentially on the hot side of an RPO or I'm on the cold side. I need to be aware of the relationship of receivers to my side of the field. I need to be aware of motions that are coming to me or going away from me. So I need to be able to see the big picture while being ready to narrow my focus at the appropriate time. I think, this is really important as well. We're playing man coverage. We need to expect and be ready for those things that challenge the coverage we're playing. Motion, stacks, bunches, and clusters, rubs and picks. We can't be surprised by it. As soon as we know we're playing man coverage, we all need to get on the same page and understand that this is what we're expecting. Communicate prior to the snap, have a plan, and then execute it in the down. And I'll try and show some examples of a couple of those kinds of things happening on the field. As a DB, we need to understand receiver break points. The more we understand about the passing game, the better we're going to be in defending it. Coach Galloway's presentation yesterday was terrific, and I hope in the video end of things here I can maybe pick up on at least a couple of things that he said. But we need to understand break points. The quick game break point where a route is going to break inside of 5 yards. We're then going to transition downfield into the intermediate break point, somewhere between 10 and 12 yards, and then those deep breaking routes beyond 12. So the more we need to be aware of that and have situational field awareness through the down in terms of understanding where the receiver is. And understand route running mechanics. I hope there were some DBs. Again, I hope there were some DBs listening to Coach Galloway yesterday. The more we understand about how receivers run routes to win routes, the better we're going to be in defending them. And then I think it's also important that, in playing man coverage, a defender needs to know what routes he will win and what routes the receiver must earn. If you go into a situation on any down in man coverage thinking that you have to win on everything, you'll probably win on nothing. We're playing a leverage. We're aligning with a leverage, but aligning, leverage is more than just aligning. Leverage speaks to you're going to play mentally through the down with the leverage, the appropriate leverage, and understand as well that that leverage may change in the course of the down. But we want to contest everything, but we've got to know what we're not going to, what we are going to win on, and what we're going to make the receiver earn. And then I'll sort of take a look. We're going to now talk about catch man technique specifically. And for us, catch man, when are we playing catch man? We're playing catch man. This is our base technique in our cover one coverage schemes. We're going to have post help, typically from a free safety. We could have hole help, and for a lot of what we're talking about here, let's assume post and hole help. We've got a linebacker loose as a rat in the hole, but we could also play cover one with post help only. And you could play cover one with rat hole only as well, but it just depends on scheme. So that's what we're talking about here. This is not the technique we're going to play in a cover zero situation where our help is pressure. We're going to play a different technique there. And this isn't the coverage that we're going to play necessarily in two-man. The aims of this, of the coverage catch man, of the technique, I shouldn't say the coverage, the technique itself, is to be in position to drive quick routes. So think it's 1st and 10, okay? We're playing man coverage. And what we want to do in terms of attacking the offense, we want the offense off schedule. We don't want to concede a 6-yard quick game throw and have the offense be on schedule. We want to keep them behind the chains. So this coverage technique is going to allow us to drive quick routes, okay? We want to disrupt and alter time and space of intermediate and deep routes. So in doing so, let's talk a little bit about stance. Okay, we're looking for square hips and shoulders. We're going to place our leverage foot up and we're going to load that leverage foot about 70-30 weight distribution. We want a heel toe stagger and we want our feet under our hips. This initial stance is going to give us the opportunity to execute the shuffle, and the whole point and purpose of the shuffle is to slow us down. So we're going to play this technique from a depth of 5 to 7 yards. Our leverage, as I said, is going to be determined by receiver alignment and the coverage call. Where is your help? So we're going to play inside leverage, inside technique, or outside technique based on where the receiver aligns, where the help is, and whether or not that help is accessible to us. Eyes and initial movement. Again, as I said before, we're in a man, the call has put us in man coverage. But again, we can't narrow our focus too early. We need to pre-snap, have a wide focus, see the big picture. We're looking for clues and alerts. And when I say clues, we should be looking for backfield set again. Am I on the hot side of a potential RPO? And receiver deployment. What threats, what alerts do we need to be aware of? Again, we need to go into every man snap, man coverage snap. We need to go into it expecting picks, rubs, stacks, clusters, those things that offenses use to disrupt and challenge man coverage. And we need to communicate, with our teammates on the field the same. So we are going to alert, not when it happens, but prior to. So we get on the page, we know collectively we are expecting it, and therefore the transition and our response is going to be calm, measured, and effective, hopefully. Okay. As the receivers begin their waggle, as we get into the down, we want to tighten our focus to the leverage hip of the receiver. And then we're going to shuffle out. So our front foot, we're going to step with our back foot first. And we are going to literally, the intention here is to shuffle out, give ground grudgingly, give ground slowly, so that we can attack the quick game. So we're going to shuffle to trigger on that break inside of 5 yards. And by having our leverage foot up, again, we're playing to defend first the leverage route. If I'm playing inside leverage, my inside foot is up, my outside foot is back. I'm going to step back first with my outside foot. And should I get an inside break, my plant foot is already set. It's plant drive. If that break goes away from my leverage, then I'm going to trigger with I'm going to drop that leverage foot, plant off it, and drive to the ball. but I want to challenge, attack, drive, quick game routes. Now, versus a vertical stem, that is receivers coming upfield beyond 5. I've canceled the initial quick game break point, and I'm now going to work into my catch technique, where the goal again is to catch the receiver as he enters that 10 to 12 yard break point, that intermediate break point. We're going to transition to a kick slide. Okay, we don't want heel clicks. We want feet just outside our hips. We want to stay big and square while maintaining leverage on the receiver. Think of defending a point guard. We want to keep our body in front of his body. At least, we want to stay on a cylinder. Okay, we want to play half the man. And we want to, from a basketball perspective, think about taking the charge. We want this to become a game of chicken. Okay, we want to make the receiver have to deal with us. Ideally, we want to funnel him to our help. Okay, and we want, in that game of chicken, we want the receiver to blink. We want the receiver to get off. The receiver is not, no receiver wants to come off the ball and run straight into us. So we want to work to make that receiver avoid us, okay, and avoid us ideally to our help. We want to absorb, not repel. So we want to be the quicker picker upper. We want to absorb his energy, okay, not push it away. We don't want to be Gore-Tex. It's catch, not kill. And I think that's, when we talk about catch technique, that's one of the things that we, have to get our players to understand, is that this is not a matter of taking your spot on the hill that is at 10 to 12 yards and living or dying on the hill. We're going to stay alive through the down. So it's not physically, we're not looking to kill the receiver. We don't want to push him away from us. We don't want to create separation. We want to absorb and use his energy, okay, disrupt his energy, break his momentum to gain ours. And it's got to be feet first, okay? We don't want to get, hands on receivers. Hands tend to slow feet. We're going to play with we're going to bring our off hand, that is the hand away from the receiver's break. Our off hand comes to him. The near hand should just work to allow him to open the gate. We talk about don't open the gate. Our body staying square, staying big in front of the path of the receiver is the gate. We don't want to open that gate early and give the receiver a free release. We want to make the receiver push the gate open. That will bring us into a man turn where we're going to settle on the near hip, okay? And we need to have our hips low. We need low hips, low eyes. We want to see, feel, and mirror the receiver's break. Ideally, we want to funnel to help. And if we funneled him to our help, then as he makes that break, and we'll see some examples on video, if he's breaking to help, we can be aggressive to the play to the low hip. If he's away from help, if he's away from help, then we've got to, we don't want to undercut every route. We've got to high hip that route, make a play with our low arm, guarantee a tackle with our high arm. This is not high risk football. And we want to finish the play. So I'm going to stop here and go to I'll stop sharing and we'll take it to some video. Aaron, do we have the huddle screen here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got some video here. It's some practice tape, obviously here, as well as some reps from some game tape. So it's all man, and right now we're into one-on-ones. Toughest drill for a DB. No pressure on the quarterback. I just want to preface this by saying that when we go into one-on-ones, we are always playing a coverage. Okay, so through the down of a one-on-one rep, we should be practicing and executing the coverage technique fully. So we're not always going to play inside leverage. Okay, we're going to make a coverage call that will determine the leverage that the defender should be playing, and then through the down, we want to execute the fundamentals of that particular coverage technique. So this first one here, obviously we've got inside leverage on a receiver here, balls on the hash mark. We've got help, inside here, because again, we're playing catch technique here. So we're playing a variation of cover one. We're going to have post help or post and hole help. But at this point, receiver outside, well outside the numbers, we do not have access right now to that help. So we're going to come inside, defend the inside of the field, defend the field inside out. Okay, we're square to the receiver, and I'm just going to take you through this route, and then this rep, and we'll come back and take a look at it again. Okay, so right off the top, we're playing inside leverage. You can see the receiver skating down, adjusting his position at the line of scrimmage. We need to, okay, right now we're head up. We've lost that leverage. We need to get it. Okay, the defender does a pretty good job of getting back into leverage. Okay, he's maintained his inside leverage. Okay, this is not a quick game route. So now we're defending that point guard. Stay on his cylinder, maintain your leverage. Okay, don't give him room. And now, as Coach Galloway was talking about, what we're looking to do at this point is we have cleared the quick game zone. We're now anticipating that 10 to 12 yard intermediate break point, and we want the receiver to be dealing with us as he enters that break. Okay, we're defending the inside. We get hands on. It gets pretty physical there. He throws us off, and the ball is completed. Now, it's not all perfect here, but here's what I would want our guys to understand. From the time the ball is snapped here until the time of the throw, was 4.9 seconds. Okay. What I would expect to happen, or what we want to happen, and the whole idea of this technique is that if this is the quarterback's first look, what we want him to see is that. We want to see that collision, and ideally, now all of a sudden the quarterback doesn't know how this is going to work out, go somewhere else. It's one-on-one, there's no options for the quarterback. So I would call that a successful rep. We could be better at the transition. Okay, we get our feet turned a little bit. And it's a pretty physical play on both guys. I would hope there would be a flag, offensive flag on that one. Okay, now here, just let the play run a little bit. Good players make good coaches. Now, comment here would be that, my comment here is that we're going to gallop out of here. We don't need to be this fast in our shuffle. Okay, we're a little bit too quick. Okay, he does a nice job. Okay, there's no quick game break. So slow it down, slow it down. And ideally here, okay, we're now point guard, we're inside leverage, we're playing this with inside technique. We would like to catch that receiver, but as that receiver comes downfield, he's going to get into his speed out break at about 8 yards. We would like to be a little bit tighter, but we've done a good job of staying square. We make a great break in the ball. And break up the play. Okay, so up top here, I'm thinking back to Coach Galloway's comments and presentation yesterday, and we're going to see here our receiver execute Coach Galloway's step release. So we've got a corner here outside the numbers to the field. Regardless of what the coverage call is right now, that cornerback does not have any immediate help. So we're playing inside leverage, inside technique. Okay, does a great job coming out slow. Okay, receiver shows us, just as Coach Galloway talked about, gives us that quick break look, hoping that we jump it. Okay, we're aggressive to it. And now he's going to turn up field and then break again. Now, so that was the step release. Upfield, threaten quick, go back upfield again before breaking to the route. Now, we're fighting hard here to maintain inside leverage. And the point that I want to drive home here is that as I said earlier, when the leverage we play and our access to help can change through the down. Okay, we've now got that number one receiver who was outside the numbers now on the hash. We have help available now. That receiver has brought us to our help. So I've got the next clip is a very similar route. Okay, we're going to get another step release. This time we're going to play, our corner is going to convert his leverage as that receiver takes him to help, or as that receiver's route and stem takes him and gives us access to the help we don't have here initially. Okay, that corner now knows that receiver's inside his divider. I've got him now funneled to my help, and now I can be aggressive in making the play. We come under it, get on his low hip because we're funneling him to help. Make the play. Nice job. So whereas previous rep, we worked hard, too hard maybe, to maintain inside leverage. Understand that, we always want to know where our help is, and we always want to leverage that help. Now, we're not talking about press technique. This is just, DB 101. So our corner here has chosen to press this route. Okay, feet first. Here, be it press or catch, the principles remain the same in the sense that what his mistake right here is opening the gate early. Okay, bang, he's opened his hips, given the receiver a free release. Okay, we don't want that in press or in. So we have not really influenced the release of the receiver at all. We talk about in phase and out of phase and eye discipline. Okay, the receiver's got a free release. He's down the field hard. The defender has done a good job here of understanding that if you are out of phase, which he is right now, he is out of phase with that receiver. This is one-on-one. If I had a nickel for every time I have to remind our DBs who look for the ball that it's one-on-one, guys, I guarantee the ball is coming. Right now he's not in phase. The ball doesn't matter. Until we get in phase, we need to track the receiver, have our eyes on him solely. What the defender does a really good job of in keeping eye discipline on the receiver. Now the receiver's shoulders are coming back to us. The ball in this case is underthrown. And the defender does a great job of looking up, not back, and taking the ball away. So we could have been better at the line of scrimmage. But we finished the play well. Okay, now another one-on-one rep. We're playing it. You can see here we're playing inside leverage, inside technique, and this DB is a terrific athlete, but just needed to trust his technique. He's a great athlete, fast, agile, all the things you're looking for. We just need to work the technique a little more. Here, we're too soft. Okay, he opens his hips. We have no impact really. We're not impeding any part of the receiver's release. We're playing our leverage. We're maintaining our leverage. This is just great closing speed. This is where what's in the boots matters. And if you're gonna undercut that route, you need to make sure you get the ball. Pretty good eye discipline through the down here. Looking back to the ball only when the receiver looks for it. Okay. So in this rep, again, we're playing inside technique. Okay. This is a vertical stem from the, right off the bat. Okay, he's coming down hard. We're opening the gate here. Right here, we want to stay square, stay on his cylinder, and catch him. Okay, we want a collision where we disrupt his momentum in order to gain ours. So if we're square, we're going to catch that, let him push the gate open. This is a 15-yard out or comeback. All in all here, the receivers or the defender's done a pretty good job. It's pretty tight coverage. We've got inside leverage. We're making this throw for the quarterback one into a very tight window. And that catch is out of bounds. So we could be better, but again, what we're presenting to the quarterback is a contest. As he's trying to find where he wants to go with the ball, he needs to have to place the ball exactly where it needs to be for the receiver to have a chance at the catch, make those windows tight. From outside leverage or from inside leverage on an outside break, we're not going to get a whole lot better than that. He's breaking away from help. So we want to get to that high shoulder. We don't want to undercut this. Okay. You undercut it, we lose vision of the receiver, and the out becomes an out and up, and the band's playing. So this is well played, other than what we'd be looking for right now. Right now, we would like to catch more physically, being square, and then transition on that man turn to the hip. So now we're on some game tape here. Let's go to the boundary corner, and again, it's 2nd down and 6 here, and this is what the shuffle gives us. Okay, the point and the purpose. We're off 6 yards here, 6.5 yards. We're going to come out slow so that we can drive the quick game break. Boom. Okay, 2nd and 6. The gain is 4. The result is a punt. Get off the field. Okay, if we come back and slow it down, okay, that shuffle, bang. There's the plant and drive. Okay, downhill, aggressive. Okay, now, these aren't all great reps. This sort of speaks to the 5 W's: the who, what, where, when. The who is 5R. We've got 15 personnel in the field, 1 back, and 5 receivers. Okay, the where is important here. We're on the plus 30 yard line for the offense. 2nd and 1, down and distance, is critically important here. It's 2nd and 1. Okay, this is a waste down. What I would call a waste down. Offense always has an opportunity on 3rd and 1 to go for it if they want to. So this is the shot. We need to be aware of it. And I've got to tell you that this is week 1 of our season in 2019. And the guy highlighted here is playing his first game as boundary corner. He's a converted defensive end. So this is his first week of game action, playing the hot spot at boundary corner. He's going to be great. He progressed very well over the course of the season, but right here he could help himself with a little more situational awareness. Again, we open the hips, give the receiver a clean release. Okay, we're not in phase. We're looking back to the ball. It doesn't matter. So, and the ball's just a little bit off target. So again, coming back to all the things that are going to make a DB great. This kid's got everything right in the shoes and the boots. And he's working hard to master his craft. This is the same guy. Again, down in distance, it's 1st and 10. Okay, we've got a little RPO. So pre-snap coverage is a man call, okay? But we can't get our eyes locked. We need to have awareness. What's the situation here in the field? It's 1st and 10. We're looking at 2 backs, 24. We've got an offset weak, which puts me as this boundary corner. It puts me on the hot side of any potential RPO. Which is what we get. We do a good job of coming out slow. And we drive it hard and break up the pass. Okay, it's 1st and 10. Offense is now behind the chains. They're off schedule. It's what we want. And that's what that first phase, that's what the shuffle technique is all about, giving us an opportunity to win those downs. I know I'm almost out of time, but we talked a little bit about expecting picks and rubs, man challenges. The call is man. We don't want to be surprised. So here we've got an example on the boundary side here, our boundary corner, boundary half. We're going to get a, whatever mechanisms you use to defeat and deal with those rubs, those stack releases, bunches, clusters. For us here, it's a man call. We're alert to shake. We get that skate to a stack, and now we're executing the shake technique. It's not a surprise. The alert was in place. Guys, the boundary corner and the half are on the same page. Corner's jumping down. He's going to take the first thing to cross his face. The half is jumping down. We're playing at levels. The half's going to take the half gets to take what he wants. He's going to take the first thing to cross his face. I always say the low man, take the slow man, and the corner's going to pick up what's left. And same side of the ball, boundary corner and boundary half here. Again, it's man, not so much a shake here, but sort of the necessity and the danger here. These receivers, we don't have a shake. We're locked on this. So, in close proximity, if you're, we need to play at levels. This is, we fight through the switch release. And as we watch this from the end zone, okay, it's a great throw, great catch. What we don't get is, I'll show you from the end zone here. We're playing outside leverage. We've got low hole and post help inside. So our boundary half. Right now, if he just keeps his feet going and maintains, the receiver is attacking his outside leverage. We need to do a better job of maintaining that. Get a little bigger piece of him to disrupt his release. He's a bigger receiver, a smaller DB. The end of the day, sometimes the offense does things exactly, as well as they can, as well as they can. And finally here, last one, now we're getting a sort of a cluster, a bunch release here up top, 3 receivers coming together. Again, you're in man. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page, that we're ready for this. and we're going to transition to a technique to play man against that bunch release. One guy's coming down to take the point. We've got and we're playing, as you see here, we're going to work to get on 3 levels. Okay. Low man is going to take the point, and then the inside man is going to take the first inside breaking route. The outside man is going to take the first outside breaking route or the second inside break. We get 2 inside breaks. And so in man coverage, catch man has been, I'll stop this share. I know I'm almost out of time. Again, catch man has been a great technique for us to work to master. And honestly, I think for a lesser athlete, it gives them the best shot of being effective in man coverage. We're going to look to disrupt, alter, and change the timing and the space of the route. I thank you very much for your attention. I commend you for being here, and I look forward to seeing everybody playing football this fall.
Thanks, Coach. So we do have a couple of quick questions.
Okay.
So the first, I have to, the receivers like to be comfortable. The more you can make them uncomfortable, the better position you put yourselves in. So I love that idea. So the first thing that I have is, in terms of determining the skill sets of your defensive backs and where to place them on the field, what are you looking for, when you place a boundary corner versus a field half? And is there some way that you are looking at the skill set of a player and where they can best succeed on the field?
Absolutely, and it wouldn't be normal that you'd look at a D end and think his best place to succeed is a boundary corner. But every position in the back end is I think, unique. Free safety, boundary half, probably the closest skill set in terms of job description and things they do. Boundary half is obviously going to be the guy that needs to be able to handle life on an island. He's going to be the one that is isolated often usually against offense's best receiver, their ex-receiver. Field corner is a guy that's got to be able to deal with traffic on both sides. Field half is dealing with a lot of space. Sam is a tweener, a hybrid player, a demanding position. I think you've got to be a DB first, a linebacker, with a DB with a physical presence. But yeah, I think every one of those positions is unique, and often that's part of it, is to understand the job description, and I think it's important as well to move guys through different positions in the secondary to see where they fit best. If that answers your question at all, Aaron.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Coach. So the second question I have is, for guys moving from community or high school into post-secondary at the DB position, what is probably the maybe the steepest learning curve for them, and what can they do moving to post-secondary that can help alleviate that?
Well, I think, in my time in the game, what is one of the things that I've noticed, in 35, 40 years of being in the game, one of the things that has happened is that DBs are coming to the next level much better prepared than they used to be. DBs are now being coached and prepared 7-on-7. The quality of coaching that young men are receiving now makes that transition smoother. I think, in terms of, working to make that transition smoother, work the physical skills, Okay, the movement patterns, agility, change of direction, speed, strength, those things in the boots, because the rest of it is going to be learned where you land. You're not going to necessarily walk into a scheme or structure that is exactly the same as what you came from. So we've got, you need to understand that at the next level or on your next team, you're going to have to fit yourself into the scheme, the coverage patterns that are in place there. So be open to learning, be open to coaching. In the meanwhile, get yourself best physically prepared. Make those boots. Get the boots right, and then begin to work on the ear holes. What's between the ear holes as well.
That's fantastic, Coach. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing the knowledge today, and complemented so well, like you said, Coach Galloway's presentation and understanding, both sides of the battle that we have between wide receivers and DBs. And we really appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to seeing you on the field in the fall.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and I'll enjoy the rest of the day. The rest of the clinic, that is.